Good afternoon. I'm 14 First Alert meteorologist Arden Gregory here with your 2:30 weather show. So let's first break down kind of the headlines, what you really need to know as we go through the next few days. This is a live look at the Owensboro riverfront. We do have some clouds overhead, but bits of blue sky peeking through as well. It is going to be mostly clear, mild, but still kind of muggy through the overnight hours tonight. Tuesday, the highlight of the week really, as it will be less humid. So it's going to really feel pretty nice out there on Tuesday. And then we do have some storm chances Wednesday into Thursday. Not a washout though, and our chances of severe weather seem pretty low. We did have some strong to severe storms rolling through the tri-state last night. Many of you may have been woken up by the thunder, or maybe you woke up to a little tree damage or power outages this morning. Those storms rolled through in the middle of the night last night into very early this morning, but have since all pushed off to the southeast, and we've been dry for most of the day. We do have a couple of very spotty showers off to the northeast, mainly in Du Bois County. The rest of the tri-state is dry with just some scattered clouds overhead right now, and that's the case as we go through the rest of the afternoon. That spotty rain that we do have in the northeastern part of the tri-state is pushing to the southeast, so I generally think it's moving out and away from the tri-state. Some of you may catch a stray shower this afternoon, but most of us are going to stay dry, and we'll then have mostly clear skies this evening and through the overnight hours as well. Tomorrow, pretty uneventful, mostly sunny, less humid, overall pretty pleasant out there. Then we get into Wednesday. Clouds push in late Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Then around middle of the day Wednesday, sometime late morning toward lunch hour, we'll start to see some scattered rain, maybe a thunderstorm pushing through right through the middle of the day into the afternoon. Again, not a washout. I can't guarantee everyone would see that rain. It does seem like we have better chances then for some additional rain overnight Wednesday night, and that rain lingers into Thursday as well. But none of these look like they're going to be any kind of major severe weather event. Our temperatures are sitting in the mid to upper 80s right now. It's 86 in Evansville and Owensboro, 88 right now in Henderson. It does feel a little hotter than it actually is, though. Nothing like the heat we had this weekend where it was just, miserably hot and humid out there, and heat index well into the triple digits. So this is some relief, but it's still pretty sticky feeling out there today. When you factor in the humidity, those mid to upper 80s feel more like the mid to upper 90s for most of us. Henderson with a heat index of 96, Owensboro 97. So again, this is an improvement, but it still definitely has that sticky summertime feel to it out there. Overnight, we're going to fall back into the mid 60s. I wouldn't rule out a little patchy fog, but I don't think it'll be a widespread problem. Then tomorrow, mostly sunny, less humid. So our temperatures will top out very similar to today with highs in the mid to upper 80s, but the humidity will not be as much of a factor. So heat index won't be quite as high tomorrow. Then we get into Wednesday and Thursday. No major changes to our temperatures. We just kind of hang out in the mid 80s all week, but it will be partly to mostly cloudy with some scattered rain and maybe even some thunderstorms both days. As of right now, it looks like those will probably be just general run-of-the-mill thunderstorms. Our chances of severe weather seem pretty low. Over the weekend then, Friday and Saturday into Sunday, still no major changes to our temperatures. We just kind of hang out in the mid to maybe upper 80s. I wouldn't rule out a stray shower or storm popping up in the heat of the afternoon Friday or Saturday, but the whole weekend really looks mostly dry, and we hold on to those highs in the mid 80s all the way into the start of next week. So we don't have any kind of major weather changes, even though we do have some scattered rain Wednesday, Thursday. I don't think it's going to do much to cool us off. So we still just kind of hang out in the mid 80s for most of the whole next 7 days. Want to check in on the comments here. Good afternoon, Suzanne. Appreciate you tuning in. Since there's not any severe weather in the forecast, I'm not shocked we don't have a ton of questions. That's usually what gets people worked up, is when they're worried about storms. Our storm threat was last night. It is behind us now. While we may still get a few rumbles of thunder Wednesday and Thursday, as of right now, we don't have any alert days on the board because it seems like those storms would probably be just general run-of-the-mill thunderstorms. Our severe weather threat seems pretty low at this time. I mentioned we are getting at least some relief from the heat. We were in the 90s for over a week straight. You'll notice Sunday hasn't popped up yet. The thermometer at the Evansville Regional Airport, the whole rain gauge system, the whole weather station there hasn't been feeding data in since Saturday. So it dropped off sometime Saturday evening and hasn't come back online. So that's why we don't have an official high temperature as of right now for Sunday, and we may never get one. The same thing happened back on Wednesday the 5th, and we just don't have data for that day. So we may not ever get the official high temperature for Sunday, but I can tell you, anybody who even stepped outside for a moment can tell you Sunday was very hot. We definitely were in the 90s that day. And then we had the storms that rolled through last night into this morning. Again, I don't have an official rain total for you because the rain gauge isn't feeding us that data either right now. But at least the rain that moved through did come with a little bit of a break in the heat. So even though we've been in the 90s since last Friday, since the 7th, as of today, we're only topping out in the mid to upper 80s. So it's still pretty sticky, steamy out there, but it is certainly an improvement from the dangerous heat wave we were dealing with most of last week and all the way into this past weekend. So looking ahead, it does seem like we've got more seasonable weather on the way. Our normal highs this time of year would be in the upper 80s, and it looks like we'll be near to maybe just a couple degrees cooler than that for most of the next 7 days. So our highs and our lows are running right around to maybe just a couple degrees cooler than normal through the whole next 7 days. Looking beyond that, from Tuesday, August 25th through the following week, so this takes us all the way up through the end of the month here. It doesn't show any real clear precipitation trend. It does seem like they'll have some drier weather to our north, some wetter weather to our east, but here at home, we're not seeing a real clear signal, kind of like this week, where we've got some scattered rain, but it's not a real wet week. It's also not an abnormally dry week either. It's just kind of, standard tri-state weather, and that's probably what we're looking at through the end of the month. The temperature trend does show near to maybe slightly above average temperatures. We are tracking the potential for a continuing heat wave down to our southeast. It doesn't look like any of that dangerous heat will make it our way though, so our temperatures all the way through the end of this month will probably continue to hang out in the mid to upper 80s for the most part. We may get a couple days in the 90s, but it doesn't seem like we have any kind of major heat waves or real rainy weather patterns setting up. We'll have to wait and see, but it seems like the second half of August may be a little less exciting as we see just kind of typical mid to late August weather taking over. It'll be warm, it'll be muggy, but it won't be like that dangerous heat wave we had all last week. There will probably be some scattered rain and thunderstorms, but as of right now, I don't see any kind of major heavy rain maker moving in anytime over the next few days. Good afternoon, Jeff Miller in the comments here reporting 1.7 inches of rain in Sava. So that's just to the west of Evansville there over in Posey County. So thank you for that report, Jeff. I know we did get some very, very heavy rain, some strong winds and lots of lightning with those storms last night. I know there's a lot of tree damage, especially in Davis County and around Owensboro. A lot of folks did at least temporarily lose power, but thankfully it seems like so far everybody is okay. And again, we don't have any severe storms like that in the forecast moving forward. It seems like the storm chances Wednesday and Thursday will be just general run-of-the-mill thunderstorms. So we may get a few rumbles of thunder, maybe a gust of wind or a pocket of heavy rain, but as of right now, our chances of severe weather seem low. And thank you also for your comment, Misty. Good afternoon to you as well. If there are no other questions, then I am going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'll have your forecast on 14 News tonight at 4, 5, 6, and 10, and I'll do another streaming show here tonight at 9. Thank you so much for tuning in to the First Alert streaming show here at 2:30.